participants. Excellent. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I know your time is very valuable and I appreciate you coming to share it here with me today. Welcome to this session on how to create the social emotional learning classroom. I am your solved presenter today, and this is part of the TAIL Academy, which has been put together by New York State Department of Education to help us learn from the pandemic and think across learning environments. So how do we do everything we do in whatever format we happen to be in, whether that's online or in person or some combination of both. Just for your knowledge today, this session is being recorded. You will receive that recording. So you'll get an informational email at the end of this that will tell you about your credits, as well as have any information from the session. So you have a record of that. If you don't want to be on camera, I completely understand, but when you speak, do come on camera. I would really appreciate it. It's always very helpful to me, and it helps build a wonderful learning community for everyone. Please take a moment to read our norms. It says on this big blue one to be sure to have your camera on, but that is optional. But please do know that I will be starting and ending on time, and I ask that you do your very best to be here in the moment with us now. I know you've had a busy day and you have a lot to do after this meeting, but take an inquiry stance and see if you can be in the moment as much as possible. I'll try to keep it really interesting so that you won't have trouble doing that. All right. So here, I'm your presenter today. I'm Dr. Caroline Hopenwasser. I'm an educational consultant at Solved. I have a doctorate in literacy education, and I was for 20 plus years an educator in public school as well as in teacher prep at SUNY New Paltz. So now I'd love for you in the chat to tell us a little bit about who you are. So the grades you teach, the subjects you teach, and something that's making you happy today, setting the stage for social emotional learning. Let's think of things that are making us feel good and happy to be in the world today. And I'd love to see the grade levels we have represented, because we'll be thinking about how we can amend or adapt certain practices we're going to talk about today for different grade levels. Here come the chats. They all start to come in. All right, so we have many different grade levels coming in. We have preschool special ed, K through 5. And Arifa is loving the sunshine today. I apologize to anyone whose name I mispronounce. I'm going to do my best. So I like to say the names of the people who I'm reading from, but I don't always get it right. We've got grade 3. We've got 3K through 5. All right, so we have some different levels coming in today. Wonderful. Excellent. I'm going to tell you what's making me happy today is that the first day of spring here, I live in the Mid-Hudson Valley, is a beautiful day and it's 50 degrees. So that's what's making me happy today. So let's look at our agenda. Our essential question today is one big question: how can we help our students build their social emotional learning skills? And we're going to do that through identifying the key components of the SEL classroom, and then explore different techniques to develop those components. So it's very simple sounding, but we know that's very complex overall. I would like to share with you now that we have a note catcher. I'm going to put the link to it in the chat for you. And I want to show you what happens when you open it. I'm going to do it right here with you. It's going to ask you to make a copy. So go ahead and make a copy. Ooh, Sarira says today is her new year, the Persian New Year. Very cool. All right, so in your note catcher, you're going to have a link at the top to slides from today's presentation. It will also take you through the different activities we're going to do with important links. So you can choose to use this to take notes throughout or not. It's your choice on how you want to do this, but everything we're going to do is going to be collected here so that you have access to it easily afterwards. So take a moment and open that. If you can't, or you have any technical difficulties today, please let us know in the chat. I have a wonderful technical support here today. She's listed under admin solved. Her name is Brooke. She's happy to help us. So please just put it in the chat and let us know. All right, so you've opened your note catcher, and the first thing we're going to do today is just watch a short video to make sure we're all on the same page of what, here we go, the components of SEL are. So the first activity on your note catcher has a diagram that looks like this, but it's completely filled out. And we're going to watch together, and you can take notes or you can just listen. Oh, wait, I'm going to escape, excuse me, and make sure I've shared my screen so that you can hear my sound. I like to double check that. Hold on one moment. Share screen, share sound. Beautiful. And I would just appreciate if in the chat you could make sure you let me know, yes, you can hear the sound, or no, you cannot.
Did you know that there are a set of skills that are equally as important as teaching math, science, English language arts, history, and others? As a matter of fact, many education and psychology researchers have deemed these to be the most important skills we can teach, because they are the foundation for any learning to take place. These are SEL skills. SEL stands for Social and Emotional Learning, which consists of a set of skills that help us become self-disciplined, manage our emotions, work well with others, and achieve all our goals in life. A multitude of research studies show time and time again that students strong in SEL will thrive in all areas of their lives, including their academics, career, mental and physical health, relationships, finances, and so on. The Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, also known as CASEL, is a trusted source for high-quality information about SEL. They support schools and policymakers around the nation with tools and resources to support the implementation of high-quality SEL. CASEL has identified 5 social and emotional learning competencies. Self-awareness is the ability to accurately recognize your own emotions, thoughts, and values, and understand how they influence your behavior. It includes identifying emotions, accurate self-perception, recognizing strengths, weaknesses, self-confidence, and self-efficacy. Self-management involves self-discipline in regulating your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in different situations so you can reach your goals. It includes impulse control, stress management, self-discipline, self-motivation, goal setting, and organizational skills. Social awareness is the ability to empathize and understand the perspectives of others, including those from diverse backgrounds and cultures, and understand social and ethical norms for behavior. Relationship skills involve communication skills, conflict resolution, and working with diverse groups of people and ideas. And responsible decision-making involves making good decisions, taking into account the impact of your choices on yourself, others, and your community. It includes identifying problems, analyzing situations, solving problems, evaluating, reflecting, and ethical responsibility. The red skills are related to the self. The blue are social skills, and when you integrate these, you make responsible decisions. The Mindset Mastery SEL curriculum addresses these 5 competencies comprehensively.
Okay, so now we have, go to this slide, we have a definition, a working definition of these 5 components that CASEL has listed as our big SEL components. If we can do these things, what I find amazing about this, the research on this, is it doesn't just so you do better in school, you do better in everything. You're going to do better in academics, you're going to do better in your career, you're going to have improved mental and physical health. Even your finances can be affected. And if you think about it, and you think about the adults in your life who have strong SEL skills and who don't, you can sort of probably see a correlation for yourself. But I just wanted to reiterate. So we've got the color coded here. This is red, self-management and self-awareness. I'm thinking about and learning to take care of and understand myself. Then in blue, social awareness and relationship skills. I'm thinking about how to take what I know about myself and be in relationship with others. And then both of those things come into play with the green, where we have responsible decision making, where I have to think about what I know about managing myself, what I know about managing my relationships with others to make really good decisions. So I love how they can condense it down into this very simple graphic, but it's a life's work to be able to understand these things. And I just want to share this with you briefly as well. If you're interested in knowing more about the CASEL 5 or how it aligns with SEL benchmarks, there is another course I can tell you about at the end of this one that goes more in depth. But I want you just to be aware of this right now. There are also New York State benchmarks. They use the CASEL 5, these in the circle, to align with benchmarks for New York State. And we have 3 benchmarks, 2 that go with the self. Young people develop self-awareness that nurtures and affirms a strong sense of identity, informs decisions about their actions, and builds a sense of agency. That goes with our 2 self-management and self-awareness. We have
I hate to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt, but are you I was just gonna double check on your slides. Did you mean for them to be full screen? I think they're half screen right now.
Are we on this one?
It shows the note catcher. The note catcher slides with the green on the side.
Oh no, it's sharing. It's not, I'm not sharing the screen. I mean to be sharing. So thank you for checking.
Yes, for sure.
Oh heavens, that's all I can
No
say about
problem.
technology today, my friends. Let me stop sharing and make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Share screen. It switched screens. Okay, here we go. No worries. We're here.
Awesome. That's good.
Thank you. Okay, so we have our circle and we have our alignment to NICED's benchmark. So these first 2 align with the red. The second 2 align with this blue, where young people are using social awareness and interpersonal skills to establish, navigate, and maintain mutually supportive relationships. And then last, we have the 3rd benchmark, which is that young people demonstrate intentional decision-making skills and behaviors that consider social, emotional, and physical safety and well-being in personal, school, and community content. So this is part of what we now are supposed to be working on. Well, as teachers, we know we've always been working on that, correct? I would say that there is not a teacher out there who doesn't work on this in some way. Okay, so I'm sorry that the video wasn't playing with the sound. Something went terribly wrong, but here we are. And now I think we're sharing the correct thing. So today our goal is we're going to engage in 2 practices, and then we're going to do an exploration on your own and share. But the first thing I want us to do is look at activity 2, where we explore strategies. So if you have your note catcher and you are able to open it, if it's just been put in again, you're going to see this activity. It's called Rosebud and Thorn, and it is a strategy for the self. I'm learning to manage my own thinking and feeling. So I'd like you to take a few minutes to do this for yourself. And because it's Monday, you can say one rose or something positive that happened. It could be last week since we've just started. One bud or something I'm looking forward to in this upcoming week. One thorn or something that I need help with. And then our last box is one thing I will try to turn my thorn into a rose. So we're thinking about how can I take the thing that's the challenge and turn it into something positive that's happening. So I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes, and I want you to think about this on your own, and you can fill it out in your note catcher, and then we're going to do some sharing. I'm not sure if someone is making a comment or they came off mute accidentally. All right, so the timer is going for 2 minutes to think about your rose, your bud, and your thorn. All right, I'm going to ask you to come into the chat now, and I would love for some people to share with us their rose, the something positive that either happened last week or happened or is happening this week. Or I am very happy for you to come off of mute and share with us. So right now we're typing roses. Anyone feeling brave and want to come off mute and share with us? Waiting for some messages in the chat. We had a wonderful day in our classroom celebrating St. Patrick's Day with different activities. Ooh, what fun, Christy. Thank you for sharing. Other roses. All right. I hope you're out there with Christy. Here we go. Here's Jenna. My students are excited about the new unit we are starting. Ooh, Jenna, that makes me want to know what the unit is. Put that in the chat for me. I'm intrigued. My rose came in the mail. Melissa, that's very intriguing as well. I want more. Students are using their decoding strategies during their independent reading. That's amazing. We're studying the podcast serial. Oh, I love the podcast serial. Wonderful. Thank you, people who are sharing your roses. Now, what is a bud or something you're looking forward to in the next week? Students excited about Spirit Week this week. Amazing. Who doesn't love Spirit Week? Evelyn, do y'all do different things during the week where you have different days and people wear different things? Or we would have, yes, we would have hat week and pajama day, or hat day and pajama day. What are some things you're looking forward to? People, what are your buds? Share the good things, because then we're going to get to the thorns. Or if you would like to, I'm looking forward to springtime. Thank you, Denise. Yes, me too. Now, we think about the positive things, and then we think about something that might be a thorn, something we need help with, whether it's personal, professional. What are some of the thorns that you're facing? Oh, Sharon has a big one. Navigating.
Yeah.
Is someone off mute to talk? I
Oh, you
can't.
needed to do another thing.
Okay, so Sharon says, navigating all of the teaching requirements that are making me an open-minded seasoned veteran teacher. I feel incompetent because I feel like a hamster running on a wheel with no water nor food break. Does anyone else feel like that? Yes, next. So time management is a thorn, having too many expectations on you. We're getting a lovely mix of thorns and then things we're excited about. Because some thorns are behaviors from some of the students. Getting more parents to complete the school surveys, keeping students engaged in algebra. Oh, yes. All right, so here's the really challenging part. All of these things are helping us self-monitor where we are, how we're doing, and manage them. And then the last one is often the hardest one. It is, how do we think, what is something I can try to turn this thorn, this, I'm going to use Denise's because I can see it. I don't know if it's getting students to do their homework daily. That's a thorn. That's a problem. What could we try this week? What could Denise try to turn that thorn into a rose? So we're trying to do a reframe. Who has any ideas for any of these thorns and how we might reframe them and turn them into roses for the upcoming week? This is where we get to use our real good teacher creativity. One thing I will try is staying focused on the skills and teaching what I know works. So Sharon shared before that she feels like the hamster on the wheel because there's too many things going on. So one thing that she has control over, so it's all about thinking about what do I have control over, is staying focused on teaching what she knows works. So instead of trying to do all the things, try to do a few things well. And then we're going to come back, and if we're doing this in our classroom regularly, so imagine we have every Monday, we think about doing this together. And as a teacher, I think about doing this. Sharon can come back next week and think about, was she able to do that? Did that help her teaching experience change from one of being on the wheel to being a rose, something positive where she felt like she had a real connection, or she had a moment where she really did a good job? So Selena says to try and incorporate some coloring or fun activities that would coincide with their homework. So pairing something fun with an activity that has to be done. Turn my thorn into a rose by catching up on paperwork. This is a real dilemma. Oh, it is a real dilemma. But you can then feel next week you're setting yourself up to have another happy moment where you can look at what went well. So this activity is something that can be modified for students of all ages. And I think it's really important for us to do as teachers, because I think a lot of people feel like Sharon, sometimes as teachers, trying to balance all of the things we know we are required to do. So this is one way we can start managing and learning and exploring the self part of our Castle 5. So I want you throughout this presentation to think about the grade levels and students you're working with and how you might modify this to do with them. So how could this idea of rosebud and thorn be used with pre-K people? How can it be used with high school people? So you've already got great ideas. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to move into, we're going to some exploration and then discussion. And then if we have time, we're going to do another activity together at the end. So what I want us to look at now, we're actually going to go to activity 3 on your note catcher. And this is going to include looking at a Padlet. So I want you to think about of these big topics, self-awareness and self-management being the self, social awareness and relationship skills being others, or responsible decision-making being both. For the purposes of our time together today, which one would you like to focus on right now? You're going to have access to this Padlet and all of the resources on it afterwards. But what I'd like us to do, and I'm going to put the link to the Padlet in the chat as well, as it is on your note catcher. But our Padlet is organized in the 3 big components: self, others, and responsible decision-making. And you have a variety of resources there. So I'd like you to choose one of the big topics, and then you're going to explore your Padlet for 10 minutes and take some notes. You can, if this format I have works for you, I have, here's your category, here's the activity. This one was student interest in interviews in pairs and then present their partner's responses in class. So that's our social or others category. And the benefits is that students practice active listening and affirming partners' ideas. And then thinking about another teacher who did this, thinking about the limitations of how she was using it, is this is the beginning of the year activity, but I could do regular activities that build throughout the year. So you might, this might be something where you just fill in the benefits and think about the limitations later. You can make it work for you. It's your note catcher. It's here with the link to the Padlet. So the first thing I'd like you to do is put in the chat whether you're going to be looking at the self, others, or both. So are you going to be doing self-awareness and management? Are you going to be doing others, which is social awareness and relationship skills? Are you going to be doing both, which is decision-making? And then we're going to, I'm going to set a timer for you to have an opportunity to explore that Padlet resource and take notes. And at the end of that time, I will put you into a breakout room, and you will be with people who did all of the different categories. And your job will be to share an activity that you learned about that you would like to try in your classroom and think would be helpful for your colleagues to know. Please let me know if you have any questions. If not, I'm going to set our timer and we're going to get started with our Padlet exploration. All right, so I see a lot of people are doing responsible decision making. That's awesome. Self-awareness. Going to learn about the self. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to stop sharing. All right, everyone. Now that you've had about 10 minutes to look through and become more knowledgeable about practices for your particular topic, you're going to be put in a breakout room with people who may have been with the same topic or a different one. And your job is to share with each other and think through what are the benefits, limitations, how you might need to adjust depending on your grade level. So here we go. I'm opening all the breakout rooms, so you should be able to join and move yourself there. And if you cannot, our wonderful tech helper will make sure we get you to a breakout room. Looks like we're having good success. Except for room 5, where Mark is all alone. Oh, no, people are joining. Here we go. And so we had our own breakout room in the main room, and I hope you had as interesting a discussion as we did, and that you found some helpful tools and resources. What I would like to do now, we have 7 minutes left, is share a few more things and do a little bit of goal setting. So let me share my screen and let me make sure I'm sharing the correct one this time. I'm going to get it this one. All right, so you should be seeing something that says responsible decision-making scenario. So this is an activity that we didn't have time to do today. You may have read more about it if you went into decision-making, but you can look at it. It's on your note catcher. And you can also find more about it here on this side of the Padlet. But it is thinking about a lot about what Mark was just talking about, was students trying to make decisions and they think they have all the information, but they don't really understand all of the context. So how do we help them start to understand context? And so this is a decision-making scenario, and there are on the Padlet many more, and you can quickly, for your grade level, modify them. So this one is for middle or high school. You're at the mall with your best friend and they are about to steal a shirt and they say, oh, it's fine, I've never gotten caught. What do you do? And a rewrite for first grade might be, we find a cute toy on a bench on the school playground and your friend wants to keep it and you like it too, but what do you do? So then you have a scenario template to help you figure out what is the problem, what are our options, what are the positive and negative outcomes of those options. So this is just a tool to help you think about this big yellow square of responsible decision making. The last activity I would like you to think about today is in regard to some of the things you've learned or activities that you came in contact with, is thinking about what's one thing I could go do immediately. What is something I could do? Could I go and figure out how to do some sort of form of the Rose, Bud, and Thorn journal with my students going forward, for myself even going forward? What's one thing I might want to work on before the school year is over? I'm not going to go do it right now, but I want to get ready and start it before the school year is over. Or what's something that was really interesting and I want to learn more about? I need to get more information. So I would love it if you take a minute and think about that. And I'm going to just share. This is from Solved, our social emotional learning courses. So you're here at B, how to create the SEL classroom. Next Monday, we'll have some more tools for teaching and integrating SEL, in particular, focusing on how you as the teacher can think about your SEL practices that you use yourself and how to model them for students. And then we have another one, the importance of social emotional learning, which will be coming back around. And you can look at that on the Solved website. And the last thing that I ask for you to do as well is fill out our PD form. But before you do that, I love in the chat or for you to come off mute to tell us what's one takeaway you would like to try in social emotional practices from this workshop. Hold on, I'm going to open my chat so I can see. or anything from your goal setting that you'd like to share with us. Whether it's something you want to do before the school year is over or something you want to learn more about. Taking students' mood at the beginning of the day. Yeah, I like that. I want to do that in my house some days. Take everybody's mood before we get going. And this last link I've put, because we do have just 2 minutes left, I'm going to check in with staff and students. I love that, Brenda. Everybody's having feelings, not just the kids we're working with. This last link I've put in is a link to a really brief form for a PD survey so that Solved can improve and continue to help bring professional learning to you if you take a moment to fill it out. Melissa's going to incorporate music in the morning, set the tone with some music. I love that. Thank you for sharing. So I'm going to just put the form link in. So you're done here today. You have your copy of your note catcher, but we will also put another copy of it, link to it in the email you'll get. You'll get information about your professional development credits, and you will get a link to the recording of this. If you have any questions, my information is in the slides, and you're welcome to email me. And as soon as you've opened this form, the link is in the chat. You're welcome to log off and go finish the form. You're welcome to stay here a few minutes and finish it, but then our time together will be over. Yes, the link is also in the note catcher. It's down at the bottom, along with the link to registering for other courses from Solved on SEL or other topics. So thank you so much for coming today. And as promised, we are ending at 3:30, and I hope you have a lovely remainder of your afternoon. Thank you so much for coming. Be well, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Bye.
night.
Have a good day.
Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.